Good. And we're live. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Let's make sure. Okay, cool. All right. We're not gonna worry about that right now. What's up, guys? It's the 14th. It's Thursday. Whoever said that it was coming out today, they were right. And it's here. Dragonflight Alpha is here. I was not 30 minutes before the news was announced. I was telling my friend, if they don't come out with it today, I'll be concerned. But they rode that fine line, and it's all right though. They delivered. And so what I wanted to do today, I'll tell you what. Let me turn this down. I can't even hear myself think. Okay. So what I wanted to do today was take a look at some of the information that Wowhead has released. Right now, specifically, I'm going to go over the Evoker. That's the Dracthyr Evoker. That's the new class. It's the new Dragon class, of course. And I'm just going to go over what Wowhead has released. They've got full kind of overviews of the specs, the class. I haven't seen the talent trees yet. Outright, like not as a talent calculator, but I'm sure that'll come soon, so we'll definitely take a look at that when we get the opportunity. But right now, I just want to dive in. I did go through these briefly, so I got an idea. But anyways, let's just dive right in. Let's take a look at Preservation. So Preservation is actually the healing spec for, what was it, Evoker. I'm gonna get Dracthyr and Evoker confused so many times, but you can understand why, right? So I'm not gonna read through too much of this. Let's take a look. Their mastery. I didn't look at this. So healing done to allies is increased by 14%, while their health percentage is lower than your own. And you can increase that, I imagine. Okay, yeah, Awakened. So just a racial ability increases your mastery. So they get increased mastery from racial. That's cool. But so you do increased. Okay, it's just like a different flavor of things that kind of already exist. It's not, nothing exists exactly like this, but it just reminds me of the Shaman mastery, where if they're below like 30% health or something, you do increase damage, I believe. I might be wrong. That might have changed, but at some point it was something like that. And so now it throws us right into the abilities. So again, we're on the healing spec, but these are the offensive abilities that they'll have access to. As your strike, it's just project intense energy onto 2 enemies. Let's pull it up. Let's see what happens. They've got little clips here of each. Okay. So just no cooldown. He had the tooltip. I'm gonna back it up here. He's got the tooltip. So it's a 25-yard range, instant cast, uses some mana, and you can hit up to 2 people. So seems like kind of your filler ability that they'd be using. Interesting. Unravel. That doesn't look like they have an ability for this. Or, I mean, a video rather. Sunder an enemy's Oh, okay, I remember this one. So sunder an enemy's protective magic, dealing spell power, spell frost damage to absorb shields with a 9-second cooldown. So this is really cool, like against priests, for instance, or a paladin, or just anybody who has absorb shields. You will be able to really burn those down as Dracthyr, as an Evoker. Obviously, again, you're not a damage, so this will be okay. I'm curious to see how, if you're a healer, and you're going against another disc priest or something, or a disc priest, how like if you can use this ability and still it be effective. A 500% spell power is a lot, so interesting to see how that plays against priest. Now deep breath. Now this is one of the new types of abilities that they've kind of incorporated, where you can charge up, and I believe the longer you hold. Oh no, never mind, my bad. This is okay. No, this isn't one of those yet. I remember this one, but you can watch it here. So you can extend out this whatever I don't even know what you actually call those, but the ground effect there before you cast a spell. So you can lengthen that out, and that's a really cool spell. A lot of AoE potential there. I can see. I just see like the big mosh pits in like a battleground, and just zooming right through those. You know, like day one of the expansion or like pre-patch, that's all you're gonna see is just all these dragons flying around. It's gonna be crazy. Okay, so we'll then Disintegrate. So that's an alright spell. Deep Breath. And I'm not too concerned about like damage percentages here. I'm just getting an idea of how the spec's gonna look and play. So here's Disintegrate. I did get to see this in action on Bellular's video. But it consumes some of your resource. And then you just do a beam. I believe it's just a beam. A channeled beam. Yeah. So just a little short burst of damage there, and it can slow people. So some added utility. Fire Breath. Okay. Now, this is what I was saying. This is the new style of ability that they're adding into the game, where you can hold down and essentially charge up the ability. And the longer you charge it up, the more benefits you get from it. So we'll take a look at that. It's called Fire Breath. Alrighty. And you can see at the bottom there, I'll replay it, but when he's casting, let's pull it back. So yeah, right here. So he's broke the first break. He's made it to the first break point there, right? Into the second. Now he just hit the third, right? And then if he fully charges it, right, that actually ends up being a fourth. All right, so there's essentially 4 zones. You can be in the first zone, the second, the third, and then you can fully cap it out to be in the 4th zone, where it'll deal more damage and reduce the cooldown. So it's really cool spell effect as well. Just exciting. I don't even necessarily see these as being absolutely broken or like really strong when you think about how like the luxury that some other specs get, where they can kind of just cleave around them. These guys are kind of focused on that tunnel and that cone in front of them, but still just the kind of the fantasy of it, I think plays really well. Obviously I haven't played the game, so I can't say that with pure confidence, but just from what I see, it looks really interesting. Living Flame. This one was interesting. So, okay, so this can go either way. You can attack an opponent with it, or you can heal an ally with it. And I think it's just like a Shadow Bolt. It's just a Frost Bolt. It's just something that does raw damage on cast, but it does have added, or you can use it situationally, right? So that's cool. I like that a lot too, because then you don't end up with a class having 2 separate spells. It's kind of efficient, right? Like, if you're the healer, you can still use this to heal. If you're the damage, you can still use it to damage. And, obviously, you can, regardless, use it whenever. I like that. I think that's efficient class design. Like if Shadow Bolt, if there was a Warlock healer, but they could cast Shadow Bolt on somebody and it actually heal, right? But then you could just turn around and use Shadow Bolt like you normally would. There's still some class. Obviously, as a Warlock, it'd be goofy throwing Shadow Bolts at somebody thinking it'll heal them. But in this case, Living Flame, it's interesting. I like that. So that was the damage spells that are available to the Preservation Evoker. We're gonna hop down now to the healing abilities. So this is gonna be the bread and butter for this spec. All right, this is your focus. So we've got Emerald Blossom. All right, let's take. Okay, we're good there. We've got Emerald Blossom. This again uses some of your resource. And you grow a bulb from, after 2 seconds heal. Rank 2, costs 2 essence, but no longer has a cooldown. Okay. Let's see, I'm not sure if this works. Okay. Okay, so you throw it on somebody, it takes a second, and then it blows up. Right there, boom, and it blows up. That's pretty nice. I guess rank 2 is just, it's saying here, it says rank 2, but it didn't look like you charged that up similar to the Fire Breath, so I'm assuming this is just like when you're leveling, you'll eventually get a rank 2 of it. Or you, my bad, it's probably in the talent trees, because that's where they've shifted everything. So you'll be able to rank this up potential. I don't know. This we'll take a look. This looks interesting though. It's kind of like the efflorescence for Resto Druid. Really liked that spell. So yeah, that's cool. Echo. This one. Okay, so this one's interesting. Yeah, it uses resource. Okay, you wrap an ally with temporal energy, healing them for 200% of spell power. Okay, and causing your next non-echo spell to cast an additional time on that ally at 70% normal. That's okay. So I'm curious. It says on that ally. So could you you hit somebody with echo, right? Then look over at somebody else, cast an ability on them, but it'll also hit, your first target. Let's see what happens. So he's gonna echo this guy. He's gonna echo this guy. Then he's gonna cast Living Flame right onto that, and it echoed onto both of them. So that's actually really interesting. There's a lot of flavor in that. You can do a lot with that. We'll watch it one more time just to get it out. So what he's gonna do, what echo allows you to do is you can target players with your echo, right? It'll do a minor heal on them, but then your next spell that is not echo, your next healing spell that you cast will then also cast onto them at a reduced effect. So he's gonna apply echo, and then on this third person behind the flag is who he's gonna actually cast that second spell on, Living Flame in this case, but it's gonna hit all three at the same time. So echo, that's a fat heal. That's a crit, 5k. Okay, 777. So it didn't even look like that. Was that a reduced effect? That might not, them, they're probably still working on that, but that looked like they were all at 100% right there. But still, interesting how that works. Now, reversion. This one's interesting. It's like a raid cooldown, right? Reverse. No, this isn't. Okay, I'm ahead of myself. With rewind is what I'm thinking. A lot of spells in here that are themed similarly, so I'm not familiar with them. Okay, no, this is just a hot. So yeah, I remember watching this. This is essentially just your run-of-the-mill heal over time, rejuvenation, I guess. Healing them. Okay, and then the added what's a little bit interesting is if it does crit, it will essentially extend the duration of the hot, if I understand that. But anyways, moving on. Now here's so Dream Breath. Again, this is the new ability type where you charge up. This is actually a healing spell, so it's just a healing version of the same thing we saw just a minute ago. And now it actually has an extremely massive cone, so they want you to be able to hit a lot of people with this. And it does look like you won't have too hard of a time hitting a raid there, so that's nice, especially if they're stacked up tight. And it's on a 25-second cooldown, so that's not too bad. I like that. That's a lot of flavor there. Okay, now rewind. Okay, so this was a raid cooldown. This one was interesting. It reminded me, it's an instant cast. You just click the button, and it reminds me a lot of Revival, right? In the sense that you just press the button and it's a raid cooldown, right? There's nothing else. It's not a Tranquility. I guess in some sense, like Spirit Link and things like that, they're just a button as well, but there's a little bit more involved. In this case, though, it just rewind 50% of the damage taken in the last 5 seconds. So if somebody took 100 damage in the past 5 seconds, it's going to heal back 50 of that, right? This will be really good after like your raid gets chunked down. With a really big raid, you can just pop this, boom, it should help pull everybody back up. Really, it's going to be a great ability. And we can take a look at it here. Okay, so yeah, not too much in the way of visuals, but it is what it is. All right, Spirit Bloom. Okay, splits to injured allies when empowered. I guess, is this one that you can... Yeah, okay, so this is the new ability type. You can hold it down, charge it up, and it will have added utility to it. Really wasn't able to see too much there. Just gonna boom. That was a fat heal, 21,000. So okay, so if it'll initially heal somebody for a lot, right? But as you charge it up, it'll heal a second, a third, and then a fourth, right? It says this is a talent, so you're just gonna be able to really pump some heals into low health people. And I think after the first target, it becomes a smart heal, because it says splits to injured allies, so it's just always nice. Okay, so in this is a cool one. I do know the other spec gets this, but it's a nice heal. It's 430% spell power. But what you do is you're just gonna leap to somebody's location and put a fat heal on them. So it's kind of like intervene from a warrior, except it actually heals and doesn't just absorb damage. So Temporal Anomaly. Okay, I'll just show you this one to get an idea. It can heal up to 3 people within 15 yards of like the orb every 1 second for certain. So boom, right there. Some situation this will be nice, but yeah, if the environment doesn't allow for it, this spell doesn't seem to be that interesting. It's also a talent, so it makes me think, like, would I take this? I don't know. This is definitely one of the spells that I was not the most impressed with, but it does look cool. Moving on though, Dream Flight. So you're gonna take in a deep breath and fly, healing enemies. Okay, so this is the healing version. We saw the damage version of this. This is just the healing version. Looks like it might go a little further, be a little bigger. Look at that, 20,000 crit heal. So that's it's actually a really nice cooldown. And it's a 1 minute cooldown, so that's a great spell. That's gonna be really fun. Just checking on the stream there. The Stasis ability is very unique and deserves its own section. Okay, so yeah, this ability is interesting. We'll kind of go through it slow here for a second, because yeah, I don't quite understand it, but let's just read through real quick. So it's a very unique, deserves its own section. When activated, Stasis will remember the next 3 helpful skills cast that aren't rewind. Okay. You can then activate Stasis again to cast the exact same 3 spells as if they were instant casts on the exact same target in the exact same order. It's almost like building your own Convoke. And then this is the actual tooltip. So it causes your next 3 helpful spells to be duplicated and stored in a time log. You may reactivate Stasis at any time within 30 seconds to quickly unleash their magic. So you could pop, if you know, like a tank is coming up, it's gonna need. I'm just putting in a situation. Tank's gonna get hit really hard, right? Or maybe you're in an arena and the Ret Pally just popped his wings, right? You can smack on some big heals, smack on some big stuff after you press this, right? And then say, like, you survive the Ret Paladin, or you survive the boss hit. But now, like, the second tank has to pick it up. He's about to take another big hit, right? Or, I don't know, the rogue that was with the paladin, he's popping his cooldowns. Boom, you can press it again, and it's like you have that same sequence ready to go, just in case. So it's kind of insane. It's a lot of flavor, and I get they're trying to play on time with this, with preservation. There's a lot of, like, bronze dragonflight involved, so I like how they're incorporating it. It's there's a lot of flavor there, I think, and I hope they don't take away the flavor. Kind of like with fist weaving at the beginning of Mist of Pandaria when monks came out. It was my absolute favorite spec, one of my most favorite specs to ever play. But because they were too powerful, instead of just nerfing and finding a way to make that work, it essentially became gutted and just became a boring healing spec. I've never enjoyed it since, so I don't like how they pivoted there, and I hope they don't pivot in the situation of this spec. If it does happen to be overpowered, I just hope that they'll tune it, or really make precision cuts if they do need to change the functionality of some spells. But yeah, Stasis seems really cool. Let's watch it here. So he's gonna do that. He's gonna pop a Living Flame. And he popped that. Okay. So now he can hit Stasis again. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Okay. That was wild. That was fucking wild. I like it though. I dig it. Let's see. I think he does it one more time here. Let's see how he sets this up. He's gonna pop Stasis. Emerald Blossom. Emerald Blossom. And he's just gonna pop another Emerald Blossom. I guarantee it. Onto himself. Oh no, a reversion. Oh, okay, that was the hot. Yeah. And he's gonna pop it at the last second. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Alright. I get it. I get it. It's like a mini raid cooldown that you can use. What's the cooldown on this? A minute 5 cooldown. So that's not too bad. All right, so now we're that's kind of the healing. That's what you're gonna be working with as a healer. These are the utility abilities that we're gonna hop into here. It just kind of gets more wild from here. So Blessing of the Bronze. This is a raid buff. If I weave threads of time, reducing this is a raid cooldown. No, it's a raid buff. That's right. It's a raid buff, and what it does is movement skills. So I'm assuming sprint, Tiger's Lust, something like that, perhaps. Sprint. Anything that's a sprint. I can't remember what the hunter one is. It's like a tiger. I don't even know what the spell is. But just all of those, they'll decide for what each class or spec what's appropriate. But you get a reduced cooldown on those movement abilities from this raid buff, and that is pretty unique. I like how it won't affect damage at all, except for in like edge cases. But it adds flavor and it brings utility, right? It's gonna add utility to everybody. So that's a great thing, right? And at least in some situations. Time dilation. Okay, now this one was crazy. I don't know if the other spec gets this. They do. That's crazy. I doubt it. Yeah, I don't know. But it's a stagger. So you cause your target to take 50% of their damage over 8 seconds. So like they get hit across 8 seconds. The next 8 seconds, I believe, or something to that effect, it'll like stagger the damage. It's just like the monk tank, how they used to have stagger for mastery or one of their abilities. It's essentially the same concept, and that is going to be a really great cooldown for Evoker. We can take a look at the spell, but it's not gonna do. I can't imagine we'll be able to see much. Yeah, you just be able to see the spell effect on them. It's pretty cool though. You'll know who it's on. You'll know when it's on you. I appreciate that. Conjure and updraft. Okay, so this is really cool. I do know that the other both get this. It's a class talent. Oh, I see here. Preservation. So this is strictly preservation, but in this situation, both can have this. Conjure and updraft to lift your party members within 25 down, and it also gives it's got different situations, right? If you are standing still in a fight, but you still want to give some damage reduction to your team, boom, you can pop it. If you need a roar, like a druid's roar, to get people across the room faster, get them out of the way of this giant tentacle about to smack the hell out of you, there you go. You can use it both situations. So it's interesting the duality, the double effect of this, and how they can both be present at the same time, the situations, but they can also be have their own unique situations. Moving on. Oh, we'll take a look at it. It's a fun looking spell. Just kind of pop up, floating for 8 seconds. Now I don't know if everyone else will be floating like this. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, still interesting. Redirect your excess magic. Okay, this is for heal. This is a class you can get this from on both, and I'm assuming this is something similar to Innervate. But you can, on a friendly healer, you can redirect your excess magic to a friendly healer for 30 minutes. When you cast an empowered spell, you restore mana, 0.5% of their maximum mana per empowerment level. So if you reach it to the 4th empowerment level of something, you're going to be giving 2% mana back to your healer each time you cast that spell. And that's insane. That's insane. Like, every healer is going to want you on their team now. Or at least, yeah, I mean, it just means they can spend more mana, right? That's huge. That's huge, honestly. Let's see. We'll take a look at it too. Source of magic. I didn't see what this looked like. I guess he had the buff on both of them. I couldn't really tell, but that's cool. That's cool. All right, Time Spiral. Bend time, allowing you and your allies to cast their major movement abilities once in the next 10 seconds. So again, they're playing on the utility here. They want you to be able to help people move around, and it's playing on cooldowns. They don't want to give people... I can respect not giving... This not affecting like all cooldowns, right? Because it can become really cheesy with damage cooldowns and just very unfair, unbalanced. But because it's strictly just movement abilities, and just one, right? Again, this is gonna be great to coordinate to help people. Like, hey, we're gonna sprint, we're gonna move the raid, or whatever. You know, we're gonna move together as a squad. I'm gonna pop this. Everybody pop, sprint. You know, move. This is cool. I like the flavor of it. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, there's no like real spell effect to it. There's some wind. Okay. And then you still have the buff where you can cast. So, interesting. Now, this is kind of wild. I want to know how this is going to play out over time, but just watch it. Just watch. I won't even read it. That's his target. Boom, picks him up and carries him. Like, what? Let's see it one more time. He's got this guy targeted. He's going to select up here. You swoop, grab them, and then you fly to your target location. Like, that's crazy. You'd definitely be able to mess with people. Like in raids and stuff. I can see like getting people killed with like a life grip. Wild spell though. Both specs get that. It's a class talent, so. And then here's our crowd control abilities. We do get an incapacitate. I always want to say incap. We do get an incap, similar to a monk. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, you do have to cast it. I guess it's weird. It's an incap, but they move around, similar to Fear, just slow. And it okay, fair enough. And you do have to cast it. I do like that a lot. I'm glad it's not instant. We don't need more instant CC. Too strong. Moving down, another class option here. Oppressing Roar. Okay. Let out a bone-shaking roar at enemies in a cone in front of you, increasing the duration of crowd control that affects them by 50% in the next 10 minutes or 10 seconds. So you could throw this on somebody, allow them to be blinded by a rogue, and that's going to be like what? That's almost, I think, a 12-second CC. This is gonna have to really be put into check in PvP. That's scary. Let's check out. What's up, stream? What's up? We got a couple people viewing. Oh boy, sorry guys, I'm just trying to go through this. Oh, hopefully this I'll cut this into a video, so it'll be nice if anybody, for some people who just prefer to go through it with somebody, maybe somebody who grasp it. I don't really grasp these too well, but I did look through them prior. So this is really cool though, but potentially dangerous. And then the added effect onto it. this is a I don't understand quite. This ties into it, right? It'll remove one enrage effect from each enemy, and its cooldown will be reduced by 20 seconds for each enrage. And I don't know if druids can enrage. I know warriors can, but I think those are the only two classes that could really enrage. And then of course there's things like there's mobs that can enrage. So there is some interesting kind of play here. I'm thinking strictly from a PvP standpoint though. I don't see a ton of applications for this in raids and dungeons. I'm sure people will find them, but anyways, moving on from that, we didn't even see what it looked like. Let's see what it looks like. It's a frontal cone. Okay, just looks like just a little like he's coughing up smoke. Landslide. Conjure a path of shifting stone towards the target location, rooting enemies. In my mind, I imagine this looking like the Shaman ability. The Enhancement Shaman's got. Let's see what it looks like. It literally uses Earthen Rage. Oh, that's way cooler though. Oh, look at they've got black stones grabbing them. That's really cool. Let's watch that again. That's actually really cool. The spell thing here is Earthen Rage from Shamans though. It's funny. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Big fan of that one. That'll be great for like just PvP in general because it moves fast. It's got a really big range. It's like Path of Destiny for maces in New World. It's a great spell. These so this was Tail Swipe and Wing Buffett. They're racial abilities. You can knock enemies within 6 yards into the air, and then you can knock enemies away from you with your wings. So just two little CC abilities there that are interesting, and they definitely flavor towards you being a dragon. We'll take a look at them real quick. So he blew him away, really cool. The minute 5 cooldown, and then a little knock up. So you could use those for like spell interrupts potentially. Or you could like pop that and then dash away from somebody just to give yourself that extra second or so. They don't look like they're going to be, I don't know. We'll see how people use them. I don't know. I have no comment on those. They do look cool though. And this is preservation evoker combat utility abilities. So hover, launch yourself, and gain 30% movement speed for 6 seconds. You can cast while moving. Okay. What do you see? You just move a little fast. So just like a sprint gives you like an opportunity to probably pop off one of your breaths or a cast. No, okay, yeah, he couldn't even get 2 cast off. So I imagine that's probably if you need to move, you could like pop that and then pop one of your breaths. And that's like the longest you're gonna get away with it. It being just 6 seconds, it definitely makes me think that you kind of just want to save it for the breath abilities. That's what I'm calling the new style of ability. It's just a breath ability. That's what it looks like, right? James, yes, the alpha is out, right? I don't know if it's like officially out. I don't know if they've actually sent people invites. Obviously, I highly doubt I'm going to get one. I'll probably get in during beta or late alpha if I do at all. But yeah, no, as far as it says right here, Dragonflight Alpha begins today, July 14th. So that is confirmed. It is today. That's essentially today they lifted the NDA, and that is why Wowhead was able to just throw everything out. Same with Bellular. He has a lot of videos that are going to be coming out. Said he'd been playing for the past 2 days on alpha, so yeah, we're here, guys. It's here. So that was a cool spell. Hover. It'll have its place. I don't think it's too overpowered. It's not a Spirit Walker's Grace like Shamans. So tip the scales. So compress time to make your next empowered spell cast instantly at its maximum power level. So that's a good little utility for you. It is a 2-minute cooldown, but for both specs, you'll just be able to pop it, get your breath off, I'm curious if you could time that up with what was it, Stasis? I can't quite remember what the name of the spell was. Stasis, yeah, where you could cast 3 abilities. Like maybe you could pop that, cast Stasis, get an instant cast off, you know, like I'm sure there's some wicked little combos you could get away with. Where was I? Tip the scales. So let's take a look what it looks like. You press it, instantly get your breath off, so that's nice. Glide, we're all familiar with this if you've seen a demon hunter, but essentially you can slow yourself by gliding. You don't get a double jump though, so you're not as cool as demon hunter. Here's another view of the glide. Him falling. Okay, this is in human form. So in human form, you will just have some smoke. But it's nice. You get a lot more control out of it than you would, you know, like a priest slow fall or something. So that's pretty cool. They don't have any more videos at this point, but I'll go through. There's a couple more things in here. Your defensives, you're gonna have obsidian scales, just gives you armor and reduces your magic damage taken. Lasts for 12 seconds. What's really nice is you're immune to interrupt and silence effects during this. This is great. Oh, what happened? Something happened. It yelled at me, but I don't know. I think that means somebody followed me. And if you followed me, I really appreciate. That's all anyone can do. So hey, thanks for the subscription. I appreciate that. It doesn't tell me on this end. Y'all can see. I can't. It doesn't tell me anything. It's funny. Anyways, renewing blaze. The flames of life surround you for 8 seconds, healing you over 14 seconds for 100% of the damage taken. What? I don't know what that means because I don't know what 100% of the damage you're like. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna need clarification on this. Like, does that mean during that time I'm going to be healed for 100% of the damage? So if I take a 5,000 damage hit, I'm gonna get healed 5,000 back. But I guess that it makes sense because then if somebody still got a killing blow on you, it wouldn't be an immunity that would prevent that. But yeah, that's weird. That's really weird. I don't. Yeah, we'll just have to see how this plays once we get into game. Here's our dispels. So we do get some nice dispels. We do get magic and poison, which magic. Those are both great to have, especially mages and rogues. Like that's immediately what comes to my mind is mages and rogues potentially. But now this one, my friend pointed out, is actually really strong. So it removes all bleeds, which there aren't a lot of bleed cleanses in the game. And it is on a 1-minute cooldown. So this is arguably one of the best bleed dispels in the entire game. It also removes curse and diseases. And then it heals upon removing any effect. So if you actually successfully dispel somebody, this is going to heal them as well. So just a fantastic spell. We get an interrupt, 25 seconds. Interrupts them for 4 seconds. 25-yard range, so it's a little shorter than your 40-yard ranges. And the rest of these are just kind of what ifs. I guess if you're interested, these are the weapons you'll be able to use. It says axes and maces and swords. Now I don't know if that means two-handed or one-handed for those. It may be that we can use both two-handed and one-handed. I don't see us dual wielding, although that would be really cool. We're just not a melee, so there's no real reason. But yeah, I'm just like, if I have a dagger, there's got to be an offhand, right? So perhaps we get to use offhands, and that's just not something they would list here. So we'll see. So that's that wraps it up for the Evoker ability. we'll hop over to Devastation. This is the DPS spec. Okay. Oh man, I appreciate it. Let's see. So yeah, this will be a little bit faster. I'm gonna skim through some of these because we saw them already on the previous, but let's take a look at their mastery. So increases the damage of your spells by up to 20% based on the current health of your target. Higher health targets take more damage. And then you get the racial, which does increase your mastery. That's something tells me I don't know why, but something tells me this isn't going to be the absolute best mastery, because of like how it varies based on the health of the target. We'll see. I know there was seemed to be like crit interacted with some of the spells, so crit and haste might end up being more important, but we shall see. Okay, so this is the same ability that we saw from the preservation. You just can hit 2 targets at once. Looks like a filler spell, probably. Nice little cleave. Deep breath, we saw this. We'll just go back over it again. We've never quite seen a spell like this in the game. It's essentially Sindragosa's breath of Sindragosa, or maybe, I don't know. It looks like the big frost worm that came out of the Death Knights, except you are the frost worm, right? Moving down, Disintegrate. Okay, so this was the blue beam that we get. Same, the other Evoker spec gets it as well. Preservation. Same with Fire Breath here. This is the new breath abilities that you can charge up. Boom. Pretty cool. Again, Living Flame. So this is not instant cast. It's essentially like a Shadow Bolt, right? You can heal with it though. You can target a friendly with it. So I like that. Pyre. Okay. I didn't see this one on the other. So let's see what it's called. Pyre. So it's a little bit of an AoE. So it does use your orbs here. I'm losing my mind. I can't. Your not utility resource. It uses your resource here, not mana, and it's an AOE essentially, just a little AOE. Doesn't say. It doesn't say what the size of that AOE is though. I'm curious. It didn't look like an 8-yard AOE radius. We'll have to see on that one. I like that spell a lot, though. I can imagine just lobbing these things into a pack of mobs and look like fireworks. That's so cool. So cool. Just checking on the stream. I don't have 2 monitors. I'm a broke bitch. Eternity Surge. Focus your energies to release a salvo of pure magic, dealing spell frost damage to an enemy. Okay. So, and this is Devastation specific. So was Pyre. Okay. But Devastation, it's another charge up, and let's see how it goes. Yeah, let's see. So he's focusing on one target, but because he full charged it, it should hit multiple targets. Can up to 3. So that's cool. Firestorm. I just want to see. Okay, ground targeted. You do have to cast it. Oh, dude. That's so cool. It's like Rain of Fire, but cooler. It lasts for 12 seconds on a 20-second cooldown. I really like that a lot. Like, that one's really cool. They did well. Okay, moving down though. Charge Blast. So this will consume 2 of your resource. You're gonna exhale a bolt of concentrated power from your mouth. Increases the damage of charge. So as your strike. Okay, so that first ability will increase the damage of this stacking up to 2 times. This is a 15-second cooldown, so that's cool. This interacts. It's a talent, but it interacts with one of our base abilities. Okay, boom. And it's just an instant cast, kind of like Arcane Blast. Is it really instant cast? It is. It's instant cast. So you can boom, boom, and charge this out. That's interesting. I like that. I like that. Here's our cooldowns. This is the Devastation cooldowns. Just checking on the stream, looking good. Erupt with Draconic Fury and exhale pyres at 3 enemies. So pyre was one of the abilities before. Let's just double check that one. Okay, so this was just an AoE. Yeah, this was just the AoE firecracker. Okay, good to know. So this Dragon Rage will immediately throw 3 of those, right? 3 of those out, and for 14 seconds, your Essence Burst chance to occur is increased by 100%. Essence Burst. What is Essence Burst? Let's look right here. All right. Essence Burst. Hold on. We gotta find out what Essence Burst is. Landslide over. Well, I wish I knew what that meant. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know what Essence Burst means, but you get an increased chance at it. Let's... I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't know what that means. That's cool though. I like that it's a AoE cooldown immediately and then gives you something. I'm assuming what it does is it generates, maybe these are essence bursts. So you like perhaps just immediately, as soon as you spend one of these, you immediately generate one. And so you just get like this free casting or like infinite resource for a short period of time. 14 seconds, that seems like a good cooldown window. So yeah, not sure, but really cool. And then, okay, so these are our healer abilities. Just to get an idea, to know what the Evoker has. Again, we went over these in the previous spec, but we'll just kind of glance at what you will have at your disposal. This is actually cool. That, it's an instant cast. What sucks is it does use your essence, which you're going to want to use for damage. So I don't know if you're going to use this, except for in a pinch. This, however, I don't believe it uses any essence, and this could be good to just help top off like the healer or something. And you know, if your healer's in trouble, you could jump over, use one of your racials to knock somebody away. So there's some good utility in this spell. I'm glad we have that. And then moving on, our utility abilities, we get the raid buff that reduces people's major movement ability cooldown by 15%. We also get Zephyr, which like I spoke about this. This gives a sprint to everybody, and it reduces their damage taken. So it's really nice. It lasts for 8 seconds. It's really good duration. Great spell to have for utility. Again, and this is a great one that healers will love. We'll have the opportunity to buff a healer, and then when we use our power spells, they will gain mana. Just kind of sums it up right there. Spend time allowing you and your, okay, again, you get to you and your friends can use, like, you can essentially make their sprint free, right? So you could have everybody use their sprint, get somebody or get somewhere, group up, you pop this, they can sprint again. Really great utility. This broken thing, Fly With Me, you do get access to this. We'll watch it again. Picks his friend up and then flies to his target location. I can already see if they don't address this immediately, it will be broken in Battlegrounds. So hopefully they will fix that. But what is interesting is you'll be able to, like in an arena, you could target somebody getting tunneled and then just click as far away as you possibly can, and this will be a nice little grab and go utility. So there's a lot of situations this could be really cool in. If you think that, you say you have somebody DC in the middle of a raid, right, but there's bodies still standing there, you could save them for a short time with this, get them out of the way of the tentacle. But yeah, we do get access to the crowd control. It's a hard cast. I think it's like 1.5 seconds. And it's a sleepwalk. They walk around, they're incapacitated, and damage will break it. So nice to have. We get access to Oppressing Roar. This can remove enrage effects. It can lengthen crowd control in players. So just great utility. Voice again getting cracky. We're almost done though. We do get Landslide. We'll look at it again. This is a great spell, great utility to have. Boom, and it roots, so it's gonna slow and root, I believe. No, it just roots. So there's no slows, but if it grabs somebody, it will root them in place. Our two racials, Tail Swipe, Wing Buffett. Okay, this is the hover. Yeah. Sorry, I had to read through this one. This is where you could probably get a breath off in the time of this, but you need to move, right? So like, say your breath's coming off cooldown, but you're in the middle of something, you're moving, you can't stand still. You go ahead, pop it, get it off. You don't have to waste or hold that cooldown. Good to have. Again, this is just in your next breath ability, empowered ability will be instant cast. Love to see it. Glide, we know what that is. And then yeah, we get the same dispels, or have access essentially to the same dispels that the other that the healing spec would have. They're both just class talents. We also have access to the same two defensives as the other spec. We get an interrupt, and yeah, all of these things. So that pretty much sums up everything for devastation and preservation. Those are the two specs for Evoker. I wanted to just kind of go over those. Oh wow, and of course, in great timing, we've wrapped those up, and it looks like I didn't have the opportunity to see it, but it looks like when I was looking earlier, but they've just released the talent trees for both specs. So I was gonna wrap it up there and take a little break, but I won't. I am gonna step away for a minute. But when I come back, we'll take a look. We'll take a look at these talent trees and see what's up. We'll start with Evoker. Evoker. The fact that they made this class and this race the exact same, and they've got these new names, it's all so much. We'll start with preservation. That will be the healing spec, and then we'll move on over to the DPS one. But I will be right back, guys. I need to take just a short break, and yeah, I'll see you soon. serve this? Yeah. Let me know when you're done. What? Yeah. All right. Let's swap back over. Yeah. All right. We are back. The audio's stream current is lower than recommended bitrate. We recommend that you open widget. Is it is it going through? Hello, testing 1 2 3. Hello, testing 1 2 3. Yeah, no, that works fine. Are y'all able to hear? Huh. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, all right, we're back, guys. We're taking a look. We got the oh wow, that's the Evoker class emblem. Wow, that's really cool. We're on. So we're taking a look at the Evoker talent trees. These just came out. I'm gonna swap to a different mouse. And starting off, we're gonna look at the class tree. Now this will be available to both specs, right? And it looks like as a preservation, Dracthyr or Evoker or whatever. As preservation, you'll immediately have access to Expunge. So this is a Dispel. And then over here you'll have immediate access to Landslide, which is the root. So it's pretty cool. But again, we'll start though. I'm just gonna go down essentially in the. I'll go over everything in this section, and then we'll wrap up everything at the bottom. And then I'll try to, I might see what kind of pathing there is, but I just want to kind of get an idea of what is available here. So again, as a preservation, you start with Poison Dispel. Now, from there you can pick up Rescue. So this is the spell where you'll immediately jump to a target and just heal them, similar to Intervene, except for you heal, you're not absorbing. And then it looks like store 20% of your effective healing. Your next damaging Living Flame consumes all stored healing to increase its damage dealt. So this could be nice little utility. This is interesting. Living Flame. This. I mean, it depends on how much utility an actual of as devastation. If you're actually having the opportunity to throw out off heals, something tells me that that's just not how the game usually plays. So I don't think you'd be able to. So as a preservation spec, as a healer, this probably pertains to you more, and it's just some added utility where you can throw out a good kind of like punch at somebody. You're focused on healing. Now, boom, you could throw out a Living Flame. That's essentially the Shadow Bolt equivalent that we have as Evokers, and it'll just do some extra damage. So I don't know how effective. This isn't something you want to just go out of your way to get. It's just maybe something that you pick up if you have extra points to spend. Cauterized Flame. So this was the really strong. It removes bleeds, poisons, curse, and disease. Instant cast, 1 minute cooldown. Does some heals. So this is great to pick up. So here, Living Flame deals 5%. And get up to it looks like you get up to 10% potentially. So that's nice. Just kind of an added percentage increase. Hover increases your movement speed by 70% for the first 4 seconds. So this hover, I think that was the ability that allows you to cast your spells while moving, if I'm not mistaken. And so if it does, it gives you like a short burst of sprint. You can almost add in this is like a short sprint. This gives a lot of utility to that spell. So that, again, another potentially good option for utility. We have our first multi option here. So Clobbering Sweep. Tail Swipe's cooldown is reduced by 45 seconds. That is your racial. And then Heavy Wing Beats. Wing Buffett's cooldown is reduced. So you can't, you basically pick between each of your racials, and you can make them a much shorter cooldown. So I imagine like if you're a tank and you wanted to be able to knock things up in the air around you, or not a tank, obviously you're not a tank, but if you're like up in melee more so, I don't know, you could take Tail Swipe, whereas like if you're a healer and you want to be able to keep people away from you, Wing Buffett might be better. I don't know. It's kind of weird that this is like the focal point here. I don't know if you would want to take either of these. Anyways, moving on. Let's see. I'll go ahead and grab this because we're going to need it. Here's our defense. Okay, so here's our defensive ability. This is a great one to pick up. You'd automatically want that. Your damage, blue spells reduce the target's movement speed. That's another great one for PvP. I would take this for PvP. It gives you just a chill effect on your spells. It's really nice. Got some peanut butter and apples. Nice. You gonna eat some?
I've been eating some.
Okay. All right. Very nice. Okay. So Landslide, we knew what this one was. This is our root. I'll just grab it. Actually, I'm not going to grab it. I don't need it right now. Disintegrate channels 20% faster. That's definitely going to be something as the devastation you're going to want, just to get that off faster. That I believe will be an effective damage increase because you can continue casting spells faster. Landslide's cooldown is reduced, and it can withstand 200% more damage before breaking. That will be that. Now, I would go out of my way to get that, especially in PvP, or probably specifically in PvP. I don't know when you would be too concerned about rooting mobs in a PvE situation, but that's interesting. What else we got here? Quell. So that's our interrupt. So our resource, our extra resource, the orbs that were at the bottom below our mana bar, that is called Essence. Just so people are aware. Interrupted enemy spell casting. Great to have. Okay, what is it? Recall. Deep. You may wait. What is this? Deep breathe within 3 seconds after landing to travel back in time to your takeoff. What? I don't know what this is, but this seems crazy. Or cool. It seems interesting at the very least. So that kind of sums up, I guess, the Obsidian Scales cooldown is reduced by 60. Okay, I see. I did not read that one. So the first part of this tree here, the class tree, seems all right. Seems pretty healthy to me. Let me get my stream settings back up here. Okay, nice. I'm not sure what recall is. I don't personally. I don't know. I don't know this is strictly utility right here in the middle. I guess I feel like they kind of ran out of ideas of what to do here, so they just were like, well, we'll give them the option to make these better spells on one of their racials. So I'm not gonna hate on it just because I don't know how useful these are in just your everyday use. This could be cool. I don't know. But yeah, I like the first part of the tree here, especially I think I like it more from a devastations standpoint rather than preservation. There's obviously some things that you're gonna take because of your preservation here, but nothing stood out. I like the way that Disintegrate here stands out. And again, I like the Landslide. You could take this. I don't know if you're gonna want to go through all the trouble to get this as a healer for PvP because of just having to work down here deeper into the tree. So again, that kind of sucks. That you probably will just ignore this as, or potentially will ignore this as a healer, even though it gives you great utility. But yeah, it is what it is. Anything else? That's a great one to have. This one's a great one to have. Cauterize is fantastic. This you could potentially take if you have extra points once you get down here. Overall, not bad though. Again, I do think Devastation gets more from the top here though. Moving down though into the second section here, and I'm just gonna, I want to make sure I have all these unlocked. Okay. Successfully interrupting an enemy with Quell generates 1 essence. I was getting ahead of myself. That's great. That's just great all around. I would say you may not want to take it for like Mythic Plus or raids, but for PvP that's great. Your magic damage done is increased. Obviously we would take that if we wanted. Let's see what's up with this one. So compress time to make your next empowered. Okay. Oh, and this is great to have for both specs. So off the bat, I think both specs are end up taking this just because of the utility it gives, the on-demand damage or healing that you gain from it. Here is our crowd control, sleepwalk. So it is on the offshoot here. Because you're like either spec, both of these are going to be really great to have in PvP. So you'll just snag both of those, and I like the placement of that. I do like that. Your healing done and healing received are increased. Okay. Hover lasts 4 seconds longer. Okay, so now that right there, and let's just go back to hover, guys. I just want to pull that up and make sure I know what hover does. So hover allows Evoker spells to cast while moving, and it lasts for 6 seconds. However, with this, it looks like you're able to get it. I don't know if that's a total of 4 seconds longer. I imagine if it went up to 12 seconds, I guess that would. Well, no, it'd be 14 seconds if it went 4 and 4. So it might just be that this is a total of 4 seconds. It doesn't clarify. You don't gain anything when I actually press here. So yet to be seen, but we know it's going to, at the very least, be 4 seconds longer, potentially 8 seconds longer, which would be insane. And that, I think that is a huge talent. That is a great talent to have. Love that. Oh, and I didn't think about that. Okay, so Living Flame can also be, so you could, I like to put on R, like my Healing Surge, right? Or just my Flash of Light, whatever I'm using to heal myself. And it didn't dawn on me that Living Flame, it's your filler spell, it's your healing other people spell, but it's also healing yourself. So I'll definitely be putting that on R and using it with a key binding, so that, or a macro, that way it can target me. But this spell just made me realize that it's kind of 3 spells wrapped up into one. That's so nice. Healing yourself with Living Flame reduces the cast time of your next Living Flame by 40%. That's great. That's just kind of it. I wouldn't go out of, like, it's one of those things that since it's on the way, it's nice to have. Again, magic damage increased, your stamina is increased, magic damage taken is reduced. So a lot of passives in here. That's okay. Fire, breath, instant damage increased. While above 75% health, your movement speed is increased. That's nice. Redirect your excess magic to a friendly healer for 30 minutes. Okay, so this is the utility buff that the Devastation is going to want to definitely take in a raid situation, or potentially even a dungeon. And it looks like you're going to be forced into taking the magic damage reduction to grab this, which isn't the absolute best. But it is what it is, so yeah. We won't get too upset about it. I didn't end up taking any of these, so I'm just backing off some of these so I can have enough points to spend. Oh, shit. Stamina increased. Let me get that. Okay, here we go. So we're now okay. So just on the second part of the tree here. Again, this is class. This is what both specs will have access to. Right off the bat, right there, that's like your bread and butter for both. I would take that no matter what. It's just a great spell. For PvP, you get your crowd control over here. It's a nice one. And again, for PvP, usually more than likely PvP. Obviously, dungeons, this could help. I just don't see it in a raid setting really benefiting you, but you could do this for your interrupt. Again, and just a lot of passives wrapped up in here. This again ends up being a passive that it's great utility. Again, and hover, this is where you can cast and move at the same time. This makes it longer, so up to 10 seconds down. So it starts at 6, now to be 4. Just great, all around great with that. For healing, I would definitely take this because it's going to give you. I see. I would take this because it's going to give you more healing. That's I didn't see that one. That one popped out. So this is a good one. I think Emerald Blossom was like a direct target heal, and so now it'll bounce up to more people. Or the longer you charged it, the more people to hit. This is just going to make it hit more. So this is an AoE heal increase, I imagine. Pretty happy. I think both specs kind of benefited from here just because there's so much passive. So this is just a great section all around. And it's kind of clear that like, oh, if you're damaged, stick to this side. If you want more heals, stick to this side. So I appreciate that. I do think that this talent tree being built for just 2 specs also helps out a lot. I think like Druid is just so crowded. And I know it's so crowded it's hard to just not give access to everything or not give access to enough. It's a fine line there, whereas this a little bit more chill and relaxed. I like this. But let's bump down to the bottom portion here. So there's an Oppressing Roar. That's where you can make crowd control be 50% more effective on a target. So that's great for PvP. Might even be great in some raid or dungeon situations. Fly with Me, that is like the coolest spell ever. Even though there's way more cooler spells, but that thing is wild. Let's see, just check on the stream here. We're good. Boom, boom. Let's see. Green spells restore 5% more health. What? If I'm reading that right, every time you cast a green spell, you're gonna restore 5% of your own. Maybe that's just a raw out. Okay, maybe it's that they restore 5% more health. So your green spells will just be 5% more effective. I don't know. Interesting. This was the spell, this Renewing Blaze. I didn't quite understand what this one does. Flames of Life surrounds you for 8 seconds, healing you over 14 seconds for 100% of damage taken. Yeah, I guess it's during that 8-second window, all the damage you take will be healed over 14 seconds. So yeah, that's potentially nice. And it surrounds you. So that's just like a defensive ability. I think like if you're taking a lot of damage or you're expecting to take a lot of damage, you could pop this and it'll just kind of help counteract it. Yeah, it's odd. Let's see. And it looks like this is the only other multi-choice talent that we have in the class tree outside of this one. So it's called Fire Within and Pyrexia. So Fire Within, renewing Blaze's cooldown is reduced by 30 seconds, which is this spell. So your defensive capabilities, you can have them up a little bit more often, probably for PvP. And then while renewing Blaze's initial effect is active, you receive 20% increased healing from all sources. That one, like this, that almost seems like something a tank would want. So I don't know. Well, maybe if you took this, if PvP is like as a devastation, you could take the Pyrexia. but that reduced cooldown just seems so much stronger. I don't know if I'm a big fan of just that being a multi-option. I mean, I guess it is what it is. I just feel like the multi-options should be something that's just they're both so powerful you can't have them both. These both just seem like, yeah, it'd be kind of powerful to have them both, but the spell that they're interacting with isn't even like all that in a bag of chips. So I don't know. We won't concern ourselves too much with that one. You and your allies are protected from harm, absorbing damage equal to 30% of your maximum health for 5 seconds. What? I miss. Oh, okay. So this is tied. I think this is tied into Fly with Me, and so when you use it, they will also gain. You and them will gain an absorb shield for 30% max health for 5 seconds. That's great. Actually, that's just good utility. Conjure an updraft to lift party members within 25 yards, reducing damage taken. So that, again, this is the utility. They're keeping it in line with the healing side of the tree here. And I do like that. And I do like that being there on the tree. So happy with that. Hover gains an additional charge. I'm going to tell you right now, Hover is going to be our best friend. And I think it immediately starts with 1, so you would get a second charge. So that's fantastic. Let's pull it up again. Hover. It's a 35-second recharge. So yeah, having 2 of those, absolutely wonderful. And you can cast on the run with it. You'll get a sprint out of it. Yeah, all around just fantastic. Here's some more utility. So they're definitely trying to hawk in the utility here. This is allowing you and your allies to cast their major movement abilities. That's great. And I'm going to back off some of these just so I can pick the other side. It doesn't really matter if I pick, but... let's see. Okay, so this is the spell that I was interested about with Disc Priest, potentially, and just Absorb Shields. You'll be able to do a lot of damage to Absorb Shields. Now, I don't think it won't do any effective damage to their health. It just strictly attacks Absorb Shields, which keeps it in check, keeps it balanced, but allows you to just kind of wipe the field clean of all Absorb Shields. And it's a 9-second cooldown. That's what's going to potentially be dangerous, because they might just be able to nullify Priest. Okay, so here you can make your as your strike that hits 2 people at the same time. This will just make it hit 3, I believe. Actually, let me read that again. Yeah, so off the bat it hits 2, so that'll just allow it to hit a 3rd. That's great. It'll be your cleave ability. Okay, and then so Fire Breath causes your next living flame to strike 1 additional target per empowerment level. That's a good one just because it's AoE focused again, but your Fire Breath, you'll breathe fire out, and your next cast will just have an additional hit on it. It's just nice, I guess. And then, okay, I see now. So this one confused me. So Tear the Skies, your Deep Breath. If your Preservation, Deep Breath, and Dreamflight stun enemies for 3 seconds. Dreamflight, I don't even... Oh, okay, that was the... Okay, I know what that is. And then in Deep Breath, as a Devastation, it just Deep Breath will stun. And that's where you swoop across the field, big, long AoE Dragon Breath. And then for Preservation, it's the same spell and also the healing version of it. So that's fantastic. I think things started to kind of come together here. You're getting a lot more like talent options compared to the middle of the tree, or like actual spell options. And I think it's tough to say. I think overall utility for both specs kind of won out here, but Devastation definitely got some nice benefits. And again, I think preservation just kind of didn't get a whole lot of flavor. And it's okay if preservation doesn't get a lot of like healing and such from the tree, because that would then mean that the devastation will have access to it as well, and you don't necessarily want a damage having access to so much. So I can respect what's here. There'll probably be more flavor for preservation in its specific tree, but I'd have to say overall devastation just gains more from the class tree than preservation. There's just a lot more spells and just talents available that will benefit you broadly compared to being a healer. Now, if you want, if the game allows you to play in a sense that like you can heal but also mix in like damage or utility as preservation, there's added benefit there. Then they become a little bit more weighted in my my ranking here. But that's great. That's great. But that kind of sums up then the class. Might just kind of an overview, checking out what talents are actually sitting in here for both specs to have access to. We are going to move over now to the spec trees. Now these will we'll start with preservation. They will only have access to this as preservation. You cannot access this as a devastation. Okay. So starting off right off the bat, we get reversion. This is our heal over time ability, and if you crit, it will extend that that heal over time. Then you're immediately given two options here, both spells. Okay. And notice one thing before we kind of dive in, and I haven't pointed out, a lot, if not all of these spells have a 25-yard range. So as you're more of a melee character, you're gonna be more in the thick of it, but you're gonna want to place yourself on the edge of the battle. Whereas, say you're like a caster, you can, especially like a boomkin or a hunter, can really set back. This is not the case for the dragons. I'm just gonna start calling them the dragons. That's what they are. They kind of have to be a little bit more in the thick of it, and I believe that's why they gave them mail armor, is because you're just going to be in melee more often than not, and I think it was a great choice. We also needed more male users, so makes sense. Let's see. So Dream Breath. So this is one of our breath abilities. It just breathes fire. Just hold it longer, does more heals. That's great. Echo. Echo, that is a really great spell. This is the spell that I would absolutely take, no matter what. You're gonna have to figure it out, of course, like how to use it. But it's the situation where I can cast Echo on number 1 and number 2, and then cast just any other healing spell that's not called Echo onto number 3, right, my third target. All 3 targets will be hit by that second spell, that non-Echo spell, as the tooltip reads here. So that's really awesome, right? That's just depth and decision making and freedom to do, to kind of play how you want. Maybe you prefer to just use Echo with your heal over time in some situations to just spread your hot everywhere, or whatever, right? Good to know there. What's probably going to be the case, before I even get into this, I imagine single target, AoE, cooldowns, right? That's how I'm going to imagine it branching here. We'll see what comes to fruition. So Living Flame has a 20% chance to make your next essence ability free. Living Flame has a chance to make... Living Flame. What spell was Living Flame? Let's go back to preservation. Living Flame. Okay. So Living Flame is just our normal heal. Okay, I've got to remember that. That's essentially our Shadow Bolt, our Healing Surge, like all wrapped into one, right? and it has a chance to make your next essence ability free. That's probably great just for mana consumption purposes. You'd probably just go ahead and take that. Let's see. Rewind. Was this? %50 of damage and okay, so this is your raid cooldown. It's a big old. It's like Trank Revival. It's what you want to press when everyone's taken a lot of damage. Stretch time around an ally for 8 seconds, causing 50% damage they would take to instead be dealt. So there's your stagger. So yeah, just more big cooldowns. Okay, and it seems. I mean, I guess that wasn't necessarily single target, but this is single target. Fire breath heals a nearby injured ally for 80% of damage done. Okay, so this is trying to wrap in. Okay, interesting. This is wrapping in damage. So one of your damage abilities will now heal somebody based on the damage done. So there's some trying to tie in like some damage healing weaving. It's tying that in. That's interesting. Let's see. Each cast of bronze spell causes your next empower spell to reach maximum level in 5% less time, stacking up to 4. That could potentially be okay. It shortens your empowered spells. So each time you use one of you would have to see. That one's debatable. Obviously, if you're going to want to go down this side of the tree, you're going to have to take it. But I just want to see how that's used in practice.
Practice done.
Okay, I'll come make some. Let's see. Divert Spirit Bloom. Okay, this was just a single target heal. It does a good, just boom, like a real strong single target heal. But the longer you charge it up, the more people it will hit. You can also pick right here to allow it to hit 2 additional allies. So it hit healing and ally, okay? And then, so off of the rip, I think what this allows is it immediately will hit 3 people, and then it can move up to 5 in total. So it'll say heals 3 allies, heals a 4th ally, heals a 5th ally, all right? So yeah, that's cool. This is a great spell to have as a healer. Okay, we've got a multi-choice here. Actually, real quick, yeah, let me knock this. I'm gonna knock this tree out. Once we get done with this tree, I'm gonna go grab breakfast downstairs. Then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the devastation tree. Okay. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Like, it really helps. It kind of puts me into the algorithm, allows people to see what I'm doing. So really appreciate that if you can do it. So Spirit Bloom's cooldown is reduced, or Spirit Bloom increases your essence regeneration by 100%. Ooh. Now see, that is what I want to see in a multi-choice talent. Yes. I assume, we could kind of imagine what it does, but a reduced cooldown is always great. But that essence regeneration, 100% increase for 10 seconds, right? What's the cooldown? So it's just a 3-second cooldown. So if you kept that on cooldown, you would be having, tons of essence regeneration. You can also use the essence regeneration in like the thick of it when you. That's just great. That's a tough one to take. I almost feel like the essence regeneration I'd want to play around with, but I imagine too, like when we don't have a lot of gear, it might be better just to go with spiritual clarity. But that's really cool. Commune with the Emerald Dream, restoring 20% health and 2% mana every 1 second for 5 seconds. Overhealing is transferred to a nearby energy. Castable while stunned, feared, or silenced. That. Wow, it's 3 minutes. That's your, it'll heal you. It'll get your mana back. Yeah, wow, you can top your health off and you can get 10% mana back. Yeah, that thing, that. That's all I have to say to that. Okay, so this middle tree seems to be taking on the damage or focusing on damage, and I like that.
As your strike has a 15% chance to cause an essence burst, making your next essence ability free. And I believe that's what essence burst means. Essence burst, I believe, means your next essence ability is free. And over here it said essence burst somewhere. It caused something to happen more often. So I'm now understanding what essence burst. That just means a free resource ability, an ability that would use your resource, your essence. It becomes free. So that's a nice one. And it's because you could be focusing on damaging, right, with your as your strike, but then get a free heal to throw out, or damage as well, right? Reversion instantly heals the target for 15% of damage taken in the last 5 seconds. Is that reversion is your heal over time? So that just gives an instant heal to your heal over time. That's actually really good though, I think. Let's see, time dilation's cooldown is reduced. Okay, so here's another multi-choice. So it's time dilation, where we can put a stagger on somebody. It pertains to this. The cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds each time you cast an essence ability. So that'll just have it coming off a cooldown more often. And then time dilation delays 70% of damage taken instead of 50. So you can make it a little bit more effective. I think just in time, it actually, yeah, I don't think that's as heavy as how great this one is. But I do know how important tank cooldowns are. So there would just be situations, maybe your tank needs more help because he's not as geared. You could go with time or delay harm. However, if like you're in a situation where you just want it up more often, perhaps like a dungeon, you could run just in time and just have it up more frequent. So that'd be great. Gonna require communication between you and the tank though. Let's see, Temporal Anomaly. Send forward a vortex. Okay, so this was we saw this, it kind of shoots out and it moves indefinitely, and does some heals, and then if it runs into like a wall or something, it'll stop. Kind of like Frozen Orb. Let's see what this multi-choice says for it. So Nozdormu's teaching and temporal disruption. So Nozdormu's teaching requires Evoker. Temporal Anomaly can be cast instantly. And then Temporal Anomaly heals 40% more in 40% less time. So you can make it cast instant or make it heal more. In fact, I'd want to go with Temporal Disruption if I were going to use this, I think. Not sure how to feel about that. Interesting. Echo. So here's our spell Echo. You can allow it to replicate 30% additional healing. That would just make that spell more effective. That's great. Time of Need. When you or an ally falls below 20% health, a version of yourself enters your timeline and heals them. Your alternate self continues healing for 8 seconds before returning to their timeline. I don't. Okay, whoa. Mind fuck. What? What? Oh, wow. I don't even understand that. I'm just going to have to see that. You can read it. May only occur once. That's just like a cheat death, kind of, maybe. I don't know. It's wild. What sucks is it can happen to someone else, right? And then it can't happen for another 90 seconds. So, like, it'd be cool if you could choose whether it affects you or someone else, but oh well. Okay. So this was our regem. You're able to move while communing, or your communion increases your max health by 20% for 15. Either of those could be interesting. Those are nice little options there. Emerald Blossom sends out 3 flying seedlings when it bursts, healing allies up to 30 yards away. What? Emerald Blossom, that's like our AoE on the ground. Okay. So it can just do more heals, essentially. These are called fluttering. So you can gain a chance for one of them to grow into a new Emerald Blossom. Okay. Shit just got really cool. Okay. I like that. So here's the damage tree. Let's look at this one. Rescue temporarily bonds your life with an ally, causing healing either of you to receive. Also heal the bonded partner for 40%. Okay, so when you jump onto somebody with this, y'all are bound. If you heal yourself, or you like whoever gets, either of you get healed, both of you get healed, the other gets healed as well. That's nice. That'd be good in dungeons and just, I guess even in raids, right? Like just to hit somebody low health with this, that's gonna be great. So then let's see. Living Flame and Fire Breath deal additional damage and healing equal to 1% of your max health. It's whatever. Rescue increases the healing of your next Dream Breath by 40 or your next Living Flame by 100. So again, tying in some damage here. That's cool. And then this was the wild one. Yeah, that's the one I'm just like, what? Okay, cool. Moving on then. So we're at the bottom of the tree. They're so different that it's hard for me to kind of compare those sections of the tree, and it's all for preservation. So I'm not going to break them down on this side the same way. Consuming a full temporal compression grants you essence burst. I don't know what temporal compression is. Oh god. Each cast... Okay, so each cast of bronze spell causes your next empower spell to reach max. So when you consume this, if you consumed a full 4 stack of this, it'll make your next essence. Okay, so this kind of chains with this. So you would get this, you can cast your breath ability, right? Your charge up ability quicker, and then when you're done, you'll be able to have a free cast of one of your essence abilities. So that's actually kind of cool. Each time you gain that free cast, your critical healing is increased by 50% for up to 8 seconds. So you're going to get a 50% chance at a really juicy heal after that. Allies that healed by Dream Breath are healed for an additional 10%. Okay. And then Dream Flight. Take in a deep breath and fly to a target location, healing all allies in your path. So that's the big sweeping breath. So yeah, this is more AoE focused, this side of the tree. I didn't expect them to... I thought it would be cooldowns, but they are actually tying in like damage here. So this is nice. They cost 10% less mana. That's great. Your empowered spells maximum level is increased. Oh, wow. Oh. So you can just make them... You can make them even more effective at max. Wow. Okay. Reversion. Okay, and then so this you'll do 15% increased healing on targets with your healing over time on them. That's really nice. Stasis causes your next 3. Yeah, man, that's the one to go with. Makes your next 3 helpful spells be duplicated, and then it's stored in time lock, and then you can just release them out of that time lock at any time. Instant cast on the same target in the same pattern. All right, man, we're almost done here. Rewind. Its cooldown is reduced, so rewind, right? That's where that's your big raid cooldown, right? It's a 4-minute, and you can reduce that to a 3-minute, or you can reduce that down to a 2-minute, right? Or no, it's still 4-minute, but it has 2 charges, but it's reduced. I don't think I'd like to do that. I don't think I would ever do that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of reducing the effectiveness, but I like reducing the cooldown. So, interesting. Okay, now this is really nice. Disintegrate generates 1,200 mana over its duration, which I don't know how much mana we have. I'm sure that's not going to be a hard number, probably percentage based. But what's nice is that, see, I didn't think this would give a lot of utility. I didn't think we would, as a preservation, want to take this. But now all of a sudden... this gives a lot of weight to natural convergence here. So that's really nice. Reversion has 2 charges. And what was reversion? Reversion is your, okay, that's your hot. Will have 2 charges. That's actually a nice one to have. I love hots. So reversion, time dilation, and echo lasts 2 seconds longer. That's just great uptime. Emerald Blossom leaves behind a tiny sprout, which gathers 5% of your healing over 10 seconds. The sprout then heals allies within 25 yards, divided evenly. Again, that's a nice little, just a little bonus. I like this tree. There seems to be a decent amount of potential flavor that you could go with in this tree, and I'm curious to mess around with it, to say the least. All right, guys, I'm starving, so I'm gonna take another break real quick. Then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the Devastation tree. Okay. All right.
Cheese and stuff away since you want to go back.
Oh boy. All right. Biggie bag. All right. Didn't take us too long. Alright. Alright. We're back. So we went through the entire preservation tree. And we've gone through the entire class tree. I'm eating. So pardon me. I absolutely need to eat. So let's shut this one down. And again, I'm picking specs or talents. I'm just kind of picking as I go. There's no rhyme to my reason. After we kind of get an idea of everything that's going on, I've just had a first look. Then I might mess around and see what would be an interesting build potentially. Right? We're going completely off speculation here too, guys, so don't put too much weight towards it. All right. And now we've made it to the devastation tree, so I'm really excited about the preservation tree. I haven't played a new healer. I mean, we haven't had a new healer since Mistweaver, right? And that's back when I really enjoyed healing. So, and I really enjoyed fist weaving on the Mistweaver monk until it was butchered. And I've kind of just been butthurt about healing ever since. But I am excited to see preservation in action. That being said, I'm normally a DPS player, so when I see these things about devastation, it tickles me inside. I just get really excited, right? More so than preservation, but I'm trying to give preservation a chance. But I'm really excited to see what's in this talent tree right now. So we've, in my mind, saved the best for last. One moment. Okay, so right off the bat here on the tree, we're not going to worry about this side of the tree. We already covered that, but right off the bat, first thing you have to choose will be Pyre. Now, this is the AoE ability. It's just literally, it is a lob. You just lob it in like a grenade. So it's really cool. It does require essence. It is an essence ability, so pay attention to that. What's the cooldown? So it's got to be like a recharge or doesn't say. Oh, there is no cooldown because it costs. That makes sense. I'm an idiot. Ruby Essence Burst and Azure Essence Burst, okay? So, two different types of burst. Ruby, your Living Flame has a 20% chance to cause an Essence Burst, making your next Disintegrate, Pyre, or Charge Blast cost no Essence, okay? I'm assuming those are all like Ruby themed, right? Red themed. And then as your essence, your Living Flame. Okay, so your Living Flame is like your Shadow Bolt. That's your casted ability. And then as your Strike, that's your instant cast. It's more cleave based, more AoE based, I'm assuming. I'm not too sure. But Azure has a 15% chance to cause an Essence Burst, making Disintegrate, Pyre, or Charge Blast cost no Essence. Well, I don't understand. I guess it's that it's just specifically tied to the Living Flame or Azure, and they both will just make the next one free, or those three spells free. So, I don't know why you wouldn't try to take both of these. Perhaps the situation you're in, like if you're in an AoE situation, you'd rather take Azure Strike, and then single target. Maybe you'd rather take Living Flame. So, I guess that's the main difference there. Okay, let's see the middle one here. We'll just go from left to right. I think that makes it easier to follow. And I didn't do that very well over here. So we'll try that. Let's see. Pyre has a 30% chance to flare up and explode. Again, on a nearby target. Doesn't look like I did, sadly. You get into Alpha? Okay, I just seen if anybody I know got into Alpha. Sorry, I got distracted there. Anyways, back to what we were doing. Pyre has, and that's again, this is spell, or AoE, has a 30% chance to flare up and explode again on a nearby target. I like that a lot. Some Fire Mage theme in there. Disintegrate deals 10% more damage. That's our channeled beam, this one. Deep Breath's damage is increased by 10%. So Deep Breath is our big AoE. So interesting. Pyre's Essence cost is reduced. That's a good one. Essence Burst stacks 2 times. Ooh. That one might actually be nice to have, just so you don't get double procs. That actually happens a lot for Ellie Shamans and Lava Burst. So that's why we take Echo, or whatever the hell it is. It gives us 2, not Echo, but it gives us 2 charges of Lava Burst, so that we don't get wasted procs, which will happen. So this could be potentially really nice, depending on how frequent you proc. I think these are just going to be, so these will be your 2 options. Well, you need 8. So you're going to have to pick between, that's tough. We'll go this. I think you're going to end up wanting both of those. You could like forego one of these, right? Right, so either side you could forego and go. That's potential. Red spells deal more damage. Dragon Rage, erupt with Draconic Fury and exhale 3 pyres for 14 seconds. Your Essence Burst chance to occur is increased by 100%. So when you do this, you'll get free spells. So yes, this is an absolute must-have cooldown. This is your bread and butter cooldown. You just kind of start going wild. Increases your frequency of spells. And then blue spells can cast or do more damage, okay? So we're blue and red. I'm going to take 6 seconds longer, and I'm sorry about that, but yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have to take a longer duration on that. It becomes 40 seconds, or 20 seconds. Okay. Empowered spells reach maximum level, 20% less time. So it's going to shorten your cast times here. This will increase your regeneration. So when you use those spells, they increase your regeneration rate. And then for each power level you do, so you could go up to 4, I believe. It'll last 2 seconds. So you could get up to 8 seconds of this regeneration. So yeah, interesting how those two play. It seems to be some depth here. This is shaping up to be interesting. What do we have here? So this is This is our first multi-choice on the tree. Living Flame. It's our Shadow Bolt, just normal cast. Deals 40% increased damage and healing, but its cast time is increased. Okay, that might be better for a raid situation. The Living Flame deals damage over time, or heals over time. So you could potentially. Oh, okay. I wonder how that works. Oh, and it stacks. Oh. That's interesting. You, instead of it being just a raw damage, you turn it into a damage over time, and you could stack it. So this is again shaping up for raid. You essentially can become a multi-daughter, and that is going to be interesting gameplay there. Okay. Firestorm. That's our AoE ground targeted ability. It's fucking gorgeous. I've already broke my left to right rule here. Sorry guys. Living Flame has a 12% chance to reset the cooldown and make your next one instant and deal. Okay, absolutely me right there. So your normal cast ability will just have a chance to make it instant cast and do more damage. Kind of busted. That alone would be a single target increase. and you would cast it on single target. That the same situation was the case for Shaman, Ellie Shaman at one point. So I can already tell you that this is a single target increase, and allows you to use this in single target. Essence Burst has a 10% chance not to be consumed. That's a big one. Your Empower spells maximum level is increased by 1. So that was the same. We saw that same exact thing on the their tree. And so I imagine at base, these things can go up to 3. These whatever these empowered abilities are go up to 3, and this allows you to go to 4. So I would take that, though. I would absolutely take that. Oh, and then this is okay. So this is like your breath abilities. These are your empowered abilities side of the tree. This is your essence ability side of the tree. Whoa, dude. Whoa. Okay, it makes sense. Quell's cooldown is reduced by 20. Excuse me, I just burped. Let's see. So that makes it a 20-second cooldown. Thank God. If you're in PvP, you absolutely required to take that. Absolutely required. We didn't look at these. What is this? Did we see that? We didn't see this. Evoker, Devastation, and what was that called? Eternity Surge. Eternity Surge. Boom, boom, boom. What just happened? So it like targets. Okay, so this is similar to the Blossom ability where like it's focused on one enemy, but then the longer you charge it, it can hit up to 3 enemies, right? Eternity Span. Hold on, Font of Magic. So with Font of Magic, it would be 8 people. With Eternity Span, what the hell is Eternity Span? I wish I could just search. Can I? No, it's not. It's not gonna be able to work. Whatever that is, yeah. I guess like you can hit a ton of fucking people with this potentially. So, and it's called Eternity Surge. So this is gonna buff it. So Essence abilities reduce the remaining cooldown of this. Okay, and then Eternity Surge critical strike grants you Essence Burst. So you can make it a shorter cooldown, or you could allow its crits to give you more burst. So you want more consistent damage, more uptime, or do you want like more burstiness? I like that. Charged Blast. Exhale a bolt of concentrated power from your mouth. As your strike increases the damage of this spell for 4 seconds, stacking up to 2 times. So you can make this really strong with your As Your Blast, your just instant cast. Okay, good little interaction there, dude. This tree, I love the interconnectedness, the way like the 2 sides are working together. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy so far. We saw what this does. That's great. Okay, let's see. Pyre reduces the remaining cooldown of Fire Breath. Fire Breath is just one of our breaths. There's like a million breaths we have, and they're all like this breath, that breath, and your mom's breath. Like, I can't keep up with them. Let's check the stream. We're doing good. Oops, let's go back over here. Okay. So Pyre reduces the remaining cooldown of Fire Breath, and then Fire Breath deals more damage over time. Fire Breath reduces the casting time of Living Flame. Damaging an enemy with Pyre or Living extends the duration of your Fire Breath's damage over a time. So it's you've got like your AoE single target. So Pyre is going to be like what you're burning your essence on. Living Flame is what you're using to generate it or just fill the void. And the Fire Breath is like your kind of your big spender, I'm assuming, as devastation. And so then damaging an enemy with Pyre or Living Flame extends the duration of your Fire Breath. And Fire Breath just does like an initial burst, probably does some damage over time. You can make that longer. Okay, so it's cool how that this all started wrapping. It kind of set up the stage, got kind of wild, interesting, and then it wrapped it all together. So I like that. Let's see here. So Azure Strike, that's our blue spell. Just does more damage. Eternity Surge. So this will allow this to hit more people. Okay. Oh, that's where Eternity Surge. So this, with Font of Magic, would allow this to hit up to 8 people. Wow. How interesting. Here's a multi-choice for us. So Charged Blast, okay, which is this spell, deals 10% more damage and strikes 2 additional enemies, or Charged Blast has 40% chance to instantly reset its own cooldown. Wow, that's actually really cool, because you could get like some chain situation. You could Azure Strike, Charge Blast, Azure Strike, and it procs, right, resets, right, and resets its own cooldown. So you get 2 more Azures right after that. Boom, throw another one out. That would be really fun for single target engagement right there. But it does seem like both sides of the tree. So both sides of the tree aren't necessarily single target or AoE. They both, there's a ton of AoE mixed in here, but they're allowing you to play with different parts of the rotation being in focus. Like you could focus on your essence, or you could focus on your empowerment abilities, which is really interesting. Disintegrate increases your damage done to the target by 5% for 4 seconds. Okay. And then Disintegrate has a 6% chance each time it deals damage to cast a level 1 Eternity Surge at your target. Eternity Surge again is this, level 1. Wow. Wow, man. I was thinking the red side seemed more cool, but then the way that they're really tying all this in on the right, it's just, oh, wow. During Deep Breath and Dragon Rage, you gain the maximum benefit of Mastery, Giant Killer, regardless of the target's health. Okay, that might actually make your Mastery really good for cooldowns. Fire Breath and Eternity Surge. Okay. It doesn't give me Fire Breath anywhere. I guess we already have that. And here's Eternity Surge. Alright. Reduce your main cooldown of Deep Breath and Dragon Rage by 1 per second per. Oh my god. So you're gonna want to go for that. You're gonna go. Okay. Wow, guys. Wow. Okay. Let's just go this side of the tree first. Okay. We would obviously pick that up. We're gonna go strictly from like a leveling standpoint here, right? I want my blue spells to do more. I'm going to go ahead and go with Continuum there. Increases maximum. I'm going to do that. Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. They give you a lot. Like, this is laid out really well, I think. I'm gonna go with that. Go with that. And that's the tree right there. So you can really just focus. Let's pull up another one. Let's see. Okay, so we got the same tree here. But instead you could go like this. So you want to grab that so you can get the double stacks. Red spells do more. We're of course picking that up. We're picking that up. We're picking that up. That. Okay, we're gonna go not with the. We're not gonna go with. We're not gonna make it a dot. I think that's not good for like a questing situation. Firestorm's great. Essence Burst has a 10% chance not to be consumed. That's huge. We want that. We want that. Fire Breath reduces the cast time of Living Flame. That's it right there. So, like, you've got the two mirrors, you know, essentially. Yeah. Yep. And that's the, kind of the two main builds that you'd probably go, I would imagine. You could get a little bit more wild, but like, for instance, you could forego Disintegrate here. Eternity Surge hits twice as many targets. I would keep that for AoE, but like if you wanted to, tough. Wow, they won't let you bridge up. Oh man, well that sucks. You'd need to drop 1, 2 more, right? Yeah. So if you could drop 2 more things here, you could pick up the dot and allow that to not be consumed. Disintegrate wouldn't be your focus anymore. Yeah, I'm just trying to think, where could you take 2 out? For like a raid, you know, for a raid you may not need your interrupt here, excuse me. And what was that I just took away the interrupt? I mean, you could do either of these, I'm thinking. Like if you didn't need as much AoE, you could do that. Right? But if you wanted more AoE, you could take that away and still pick that up. Because you're getting that Essence Burst, has a 10% chance not to be consumed, which gives you another free cast of your Essence abilities. That's great. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, we've spent a lot of time. What? We're 2 hours and 15 minutes into this, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. I love what they've done with these trees, these talent trees. I'm probably gonna go ahead and wrap things up here for now. Get me some more food. I'm hungry still. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free, or any comments, leave them down below. And if you did enjoy the video, please be sure to thumbs it up. And yeah, I will see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.